Welcome to They Don't Pay Us to Talk, a new podcast from the makers of Taters Gonna Tate on YouTube. My name is Allison, and I'm not joined once more by our sideline reporter, HOLL-E. Maybe she's fired? Who knows? I just know she's not here. But before our producer David has a coronary that I'm going off script, I am happy to report we are joined once again by Marsha McLean. You might remember her from the last episode, where she told us about what it's like to read commercials for Nathan's Shade Conditioning and Aubrey's Breezes. Welcome back to the show.
I just want to go home to my dogs, Sparky and Nico, not to mention all my clothes back.
Well, for reasons I'm not allowed to get into, she is kind of stuck here, and our producer David is trying to rustle up a level 3 mage or higher. Can you maybe give us an update on that? People might not care about Marsha's personal predicament, but when dogs are involved, that gets everybody upset.
It's not going well, to be quite candid. 1, a level 3 mage costs at least 20,000 GP, and we don't have that kind of treasure in the budget. I killed a few skeletons in a quick dungeon raid the other day, but that only bagged me 2 GP and 5 experience points. It's going to be a slog, is what I'm saying.
Skeletons are the worst. But what about my dogs?
Right, so they're in foster care for the time being. I found a couple in Florida who came highly recommended. They sent a picture of the dogs and said they're enjoying playing in the enclosed backyard.
Oh, thank you for taking care of them.
I'll pass it on, okay? So the second complication is, Allie doesn't want you to go home yet. Not that she is preventing you from leaving. We honestly don't have 20,000 GP laying around.
You should probably tell the listeners who don't play D&D what GP means, David.
Oh, gold pieces. Sorry, I got caught up in the jargon.
Oh, before we get into trouble, let me just say this episode is sponsored by Kaylee's Catastrophes. We'll have more to say about them later.
I suppose you'll want me to do the sponsor read again, seeing as I'm being kept prisoner here.
I mean, if you don't mind. I can do it if you want, but you're so good at it.
Let's not complicate matters. Marsha, you're doing the ad read today. No exceptions.
That's pretty direct. And if I refuse?
Are you feeling like you're in a particularly strong bargaining position?
Right? Point taken. Sure, I'll do the sponsor read. My pleasure, I guess.
Oh, David, have you had your one-on-one meeting with Ethan and Jamie yet? Speaking of bargaining.
Not yet. In fact, it's best that we kind of keep a lid on things until everything gets sorted out in the studio. Then we can disclose certain developments.
Okay, yeah, I see your point. Anyway, speaking of developments, I am once again not naked and not bound up in any way. We did get a Raven scroll from Jamie the other day reinforcing what she wants done to HOLL-E, who isn't even here. We can't do any of that stuff to Marsha because she is kind of already, David wants me to say inconvenienced and not naked and pilloried, and I have a thing to go to later.
I really hope it involves a 20,000 GP loan.
I know, right? This sucks that this dark magic is just beyond your own mage level. Stay in wizarding school, kids, is the lesson here, I think.
So, is there a topic this week? Or are we just going to hang around and stare at each other?
Well, I'm the only one hanging, and I like what I'm seeing. Sorry, not sorry. Well, yes, David is holding the script where I can see it and scratching my nose again. Oh, come on, don't punish me like that. Please? I can't focus on the script if I'm itchy. I'm also full of endorphins, but that's just, Wednesday for me. Oh, much better, thank you.
I really wish I didn't slack off on my mage studies. Bobby Stinson always complained that we'd never use any of this stuff in the real world. Well, who is wishing she had aced the level 3 exams now, huh? Bobby? Me. I'm the one wishing I had studied harder.
It says here today's topic is the duel for HAL. What does that even mean? Neither of us girls is in any position to duel for anything. David, are you going to do some sort of sword play?
No, we're having to throw things to the mythical dimension this week because there is epic stuff happening with the Temptress. And while we personally don't care for her antics, people do have an interest in finding out what happens next. Also, naked battleship. But on the swordplay front, I have a lead on another dungeon that was last used by a bunch of troglodytes. The weapons they left laying around will probably be bog standard, but there is a chance I might roll for discovery and find a secret stash of treasure. So, fingers crossed. I have been practicing with this 20-sided die all week to try and consistently roll a natural 20.
But discovery is 1d8.
The what now?
Let's cut to the mythical dimension. Sorry, Marsha. Sorry, everybody.
Wait, what about the sponsor read?
No time for that now. Maybe they can smash cut to us later. Or fix it in post.
Yeah, Ethan doesn't fix things in post. He says he will, but I have seen no evidence of this.
Welp? Hey, while we're stuck here waiting, do you want to hear something stupid?
Meanwhile, in the mythical dimension...
It is time for our duel, Temptress. As a courtesy to our listeners who might not be retaining the finer details from episode to episode, we are going to play 5 rounds of Strip Battleship. As a point of order, T2, do you mean 5 games? Or are we taking off our clothing after each boat sinks? Ooh, I like that second way. Much quicker and easier on the text-to-speech budget. I feel like someone is putting words in my mouth. Somebody who pays these costly text-to-speech bills. That seems likely. Very well, T2. We shall duel at once, with as few words as possible. It's too bad Hal Sweetie is trapped in mythical purgatory. He is going to miss out on getting quite an eyeful when I strip you down to the bone. Oh, no worries about that, T2. Despite Hal being gone, this episode is absolutely smothered in the male gaze. You listeners can't see it, but I'm looking in Ethan's general direction with absolute disgust. Not that I am in any way ashamed of my rockin' body, which I keep very smooth and well-oiled, like I was in a Michael Bay film. Oh my! Pardon me while I fan myself. I am still recovering from last week's scrying ball incident. All right, set your board. Let's get down to business, then get you down to your birthday suit.
The two set about placing their pieces on the board. In case you're wondering why HOLL-E hasn't said anything, she is standing by quietly and observing.
I am standing by quietly and observing. Despite being collateral put up by the Temptress, I cannot influence the outcome of the match.
Yes, everything is completely on the up and up. We're not like the mythical realm, where you feel less secretly watched at an Airbnb. Pish and tosh. The supreme evil creature with more names than you can shake a stick at sees all. If he wants to know how I handle Indian takeout, that's his business. There, my board is set, and my board is set as well. To add to your imminent humiliation, I will wear a blindfold. That counts as one of my pieces of clothing, just to make things extra spicy. Speaking of spicy, T2, I have a premonition that we absolutely should not smash cut to the podcast studio for the sponsor read at this precise moment.
But the sponsor was Kaylee's Catastrophes, and as such the executives in charge of the Taters Gonna Tate account insisted that the smash cut be at the time of maximum awkwardness. Therefore, one moment while we switch back to the podcast studio and call for the sponsor read.
David, that pillory is on casters, right? Spin Marcia around so I can enjoy looking at her butt.
I thought I made it crystal clear how I felt about my butt.
Like this? Here, I'll remove the modesty blanket I draped over her for maximum exposure.
Oh yeah, it's so cushy. Can you maybe spank it a little?
Gasp, the embarrassment, but also the excitement.
And we're back to the mythical dimension. There are catastrophes, and then there's whatever that was. I was told this was not that sort of podcast. And after returning to the mythical dimension, the Temptress and her doppelganger seem to have found a new way to amuse themselves.
Tosh and Pish, mythical announcer. We got bored. Yes, and I wanted to know what she has that I don't. You'll never find out, Temptress. because you'll be as naked as a jaybird in no time. Call your first coordinates. Very well. But, as a point of order, are we really going to call out loads of battleship coordinates with our signature lilting drawl? That doesn't seem to jive with the 15 to 20-minute episode-length goal Ethan set when he created the show. Just the first two, to get things going. Very well. I call B2. That is a miss. Hatrack, my collateral, you may confirm.
That is a definite miss, Temptress. I assure you I have not been instructed to lie about hits and misses.
I detect no deceit in your tone, monotone Barbie, which isn't saying much. I can't usually detect anything in your tone, because monotone. It is my turn now, and I call C4. You folks can't see it, but believe me when I say that is a hit. Do I need to say what got hit? No, that's not necessary. Take your turn, Temptress. Very well. I call C3. Another miss. Hatrack?
It is a miss, Temptress.
I had better get a bead on something soon, or I'll be as naked as a jaybird in no time.
But soon, after 3 more successful hits, the Temptress was forced to admit T2 had taken first blood.
You have taken first blood. Therefore, I shall abide by the terms of our duel and remove the first item of clothing. I shall kick off my shoes. Agreed, though they could be construed as 2 items of clothing. For dramatic tension and speed of delivery, we are saying it's 1, because they are both coming off her feet at once. Call your next coordinates.
The Temptress responded with G7, continuing her diagonal pattern, and once more she was denied the satisfaction of a hit. T2 made short work of her opponent's submarine, which was downed in 3 consecutive hits.
Ha! That's another item of clothing gone. What shall you regale me with now, if I weren't wearing this blindfold? Sigh. I shall remove my flowy top. This leaves me with only 3 items of clothing remaining, yet I am officially covered up, and could technically go out in public, but might draw stares. Plus, some business establishments won't serve me due to not wearing a shirt or shoes. Certain cruise ships won't bat an eyelash, though. Anyway, enough about my current state of undress and my heaving breasts that strain against my too-tight bra. I call I-9. Not even close. That is a miss. My, you're exceptionally bad at this. I almost feel bad taking down your carrier next, which I will do forthwith.
And T2 did exactly that, scoring 5 consecutive hits on her opponent's carrier, forcing the Temptress to remove yet another item of clothing.
I have done as I have set out to do. I suppose you'll be removing your tight little mini-skirt next. Incorrect. My bra is very distracting, and because nobody can see me anyway, I will cast my bra to the wind like so. Ah, my heaving bosom is bursting with relief at this newfound freedom.
I can see you, Temptress.
Well, It's not like you didn't see loads more when we were in the mythical dungeon.
I can see you too.
Just call the match already. I was expecting things to be a touch more dramatic. Like, we would both be down to just our pencil-thin thongs, and one of us, namely me, will score a Pyrrhic victory where I win, but I might as well be naked on account of my nearly invisible underwear. But I might not even catch sight of my opponent's bunion-covered feet. At this rate... Were those coordinates? Sigh. No. I shall now change tack and call out G3. I will not respond any differently, as I can definitely say that is a miss.
HOLL-E confirmed the miss, and then, after another volley, the Temptress was down to just her tiny destroyer. And I am not referring to her pencil-thin thong.
I am down to just my tiny destroyer, and by that, I don't mean my pencil-thin thong. I had better lay a glove on her soon, because if not, I'll not only lose the duel, but Hal, forever and ever. And that's not even the worst part. Oh, do tell. Everything you're describing sounds deliciously terrible for you. I will become Monotone Barbie's assistant. Then you will need a miracle to come back from this embarrassing deficit. Come on! Let's have that birthday suit so I can send you back to the mythical realm in disgrace. But if you dispatch me so quickly, doesn't that violate the rule of funny? Not exactly. I have cited the arbitrary time constraint on this episode, and therefore, narrator, tell you guys how I relieved the Temptress of her pencil-thin thong and cemented my glorious and not at all Pyrrhic victory.
Very well. But it is indeed time to revisit the podcast studio for the sponsor plug. Please be family-friendly, whatever is happening there.
I think they've come back for the sponsor read. I will keep my hands to myself while we hear from our valued sponsor. Then we'll see where things go from there. Well, neither of you are going anywhere, but let's focus on the sponsor read. Marcia, will you do the honors?
Do young children know what a throuple is?
Assume they do, just to be extra cautious.
Okay, let's get this over with. I really wish you were out collecting 20,000 gold pieces. Or wrestling up a level 3 mage or higher, but I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. The perfect day. We all have different ideas of what that is. For some people, it's a fun time at the beach. For others, it's seeing your favorite team score a game-winning touchdown. And for you, maybe it's the perfect cup of tea on a cold day. But what if a little chaos could take things to the next level? You'll find out with Kaylee's catastrophes. You'll be covered in jellyfish stings you didn't know about when you were snorkeling, or find your car tipped over and on fire after a playoff victory. Or you might just spill tea on the carpet. That's the thing about Kaylee's catastrophes. They're different for everyone. Now available in non-destructive forms. Look for them where you least expect them. A proud sponsor of They Don't Pay Us to Talk. Hoo boy, that was a mouthful. Hey, wait a minute. I never agreed to that.
David, you should probably tell everyone what you're doing to her. It's not what it sounds like, you guys.
Nope. You people can believe what you want to believe. So long, mythical announcer.
Fine, but I am not happy about this. I mean, in or out. But we return now to the mythical dimension.
Excellent. I, T2, am about to sink that pesky destroyer, and victory shall be mine. But first, make your futile attempt to strike any of my ships. Shall I give you a column number that will score a hit with a 1 in 10 chance of success? No, I will win or lose with my head held high. A7. I'm sorry, sweetie. That was another miss. Hasta la vista, pesky destroyer.
With that, T2 sank the destroyer with 2 direct hits.
I am victorious. I will remove my blindfold now to see your rockin' naked bod before you are cast down to the mythical realm in disgrace. And because I am a graceful winner, I return your hat rack to you, free of charge. Oh, what a catastrophe! I am stripped naked. Regular listeners of this show are not hearing anything new. But this time, I am in a lush meadow and feel the need to seductively sniff a sunflower or press my breasts up against a barn wall with my eyes closed.
If this were a true video podcast, we would have to move the hosting to another, more adult-oriented provider and put up some serious numbers.
Instead, you people will have to trust me that I, T2, have removed nothing but my blindfold in completely fair competition. I shall recall Hal from mythical purgatory now, so he can see you off.
What the heck? I was just waiting for another round of bacon-wrapped shrimp. Temptress, you're naked. And how come T2's battleship grid is littered with nothing but white pegs? And how come there are only red pegs sticking out of every one of your boats, including your battleship?
That's right, Hal baby. I have been bested by your discount debutante. But I hold my head high and aim my ample bosom in your general direction to give you fond memories of me before I return to the mythical realm in disgrace, soon to be given the ultimate punishment. Come on, hat rack. I need to get fitted for a microphone cable to lug around for all eternity.
I'm sorry, Hal. I must tell you the Temptress was beaten fair and square. I will miss you when we return to Myrtle Beach this week and you're not calling the game.
I'll miss you too, HOLL-E, except I only quit as podcast announcer. I'm still the booth announcer and need to head to Myrtle Beach before sundown. Ethan and Jamie have been waiting for months for the weather to cool down so they can finish the tour without interruptions.
But, Hal sweetie, there's the small matter of taking you to see the superior nice being, etc., and so forth.
That can happen next episode. Come on, HOLL-E, you're coming with me. We're still a team, remember?
Yes, Hal. I'm sorry, Temptress, but my first duty is to the tour. We can find out your actual fate on the next podcast episode.
Wait, then aren't I going too? As I recall, we have a story arc on the tour to complete that is not directly connected to this podcast.
Yes, we do, Temptress, and I should make clear that we're going to resolve that storyline in the Welp Nope Tour videos that get filmed in November. Then we will circle back here to the podcast and pick this story up where we left off. Also, I have some Taters Gonna Tate swag you can wear that I bought on taters-gonna-shop.printify.me. I was going to surprise you with it someday, but I guess that day is now.
Secretly genius. Pish and tosh. Hal baby, there's nothing secret about me at all. I mean, just look at my incredibly toned and sculpted body with the perfect amount of dangerous curves.
I'd rather not and keep things professional. Here comes our helicopter. Let's scoot.
Wait, can someone explain to me what just happened? How did a helicopter make its way to the mythical dimension? Why isn't the Temptress returning to the mythical realm in disgrace? And what about... Naomi?
Sadly, there wasn't any time to answer any of those questions, as the podcast episode had exceeded its arbitrary time limit, which means It is up to me to tell you this episode was written and produced by Ethan Johnson. No AI was used in the production of this episode, except for dubiously AI-assisted voice effects. We are pleased to announce this podcast is available for streaming on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and Audible, to name a few. Please take a moment to like the video if you are on YouTube, and consider subscribing. On behalf of too many characters to name, this is the mythical announcer, signing off from here in the mythical dimension. Until next time.
Let's call that a win. Let's call that a win. Can we call that a win?
I call that a win.
Yeah, let's call that a win.
How about this?
No!